We all feel it, right? That sense that life is just more expensive than it used to be. But the reason why might not be what you think. It's actually not just about rising prices for the same old things. And that right there, that's the heart of it. We're not just paying more for bread and milk. We are paying for a whole universe of new costs that our parents or grandparents never even had to think about. This is a fundamental change to how our money works. Okay, so just look at this. On the left, you've got a typical household budget from 1975. Pretty straightforward, right? A few core categories. Now look at the right. That's us, today. It's got all the old stuff, plus this long, long list of new, often monthly expenses. Each one might seem small, but when you add them all up, they have totally reshaped our financial lives. And that's the real mystery we're going to unravel today. We're going to move beyond the usual inflation talk and really dig into the structure of how we spend money now. Where did all these new bills come from? All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with this modern budget mystery, then we'll dive into this whole new world of costs we all face. We'll uncover the forces behind them, see the impact they're having, and, most importantly, talk about how to start taking back control. So let's kick off our investigation. That feeling of being financially stretched thin, it's not just in your head. It's actually designed into the very system of our modern economy. Okay, let's get into the evidence. We're going to walk through these new spending categories one by one, and I'm willing to bet you're going to see a lot of your own bank statement reflected here. First up, the big one, the subscription economy. This model has absolutely revolutionized entertainment and software, turning things we used to buy once into a permanent monthly line item. Back in 1975, this category was basically zero. This really gets to a massive shift in how we, own things, or maybe how we don't. We've gone from a world of one-time ownership. You buy a record, you buy a software disk, to a world of perpetual rental. You don't own it, you just have access for as long as you keep paying. And for businesses, this was a genius move to create steady, predictable income. And the list? You know this list. It feels endless. Just think about it for a second. You've got Netflix for movies, Spotify for music, Adobe for work, iCloud for your photos, maybe a gaming pass for the kids, Amazon Prime for everything, and maybe even your home security system is a subscription now. Each one is just a small little drip, drip, drip from your account. All right, next up, a cost that has kind of snuck up on all of us and become a massive new expense, the tech replacement cycle. We're now expected to have a whole arsenal of personal gadgets, and here's the key, to replace them all the time. I mean, the contrast is just wild. In the 70s, a house had one phone attached to a wall and a TV that was built like a tank and lasted for decades. Today, a single family might have 4 smartphones, a couple of laptops, tablets, smartwatches, all of which are pretty much designed to become slow, outdated, or just break within a few years. It creates this constant expensive cycle of rebuying. Now for another huge one, and for many, a completely new expense category, professional childcare. As our economy shifted and dual-income households became the norm, the need for formal, structured childcare just exploded. For many families in the past, this simply wasn't a budget item at all. And today, for millions of families, childcare is the second biggest bill they have every month right after the mortgage. And it's not just one thing, is it? It's this whole ecosystem of costs, full-time daycare, then after-school programs, then incredibly expensive summer camps to fill the gaps, and even extra fees for getting kids to and from all these places. Let's talk about wellness. What used to just be called healthcare has morphed and expanded into this massive, multifaceted wellness industry. And it has created a whole new slate of costs that now feel totally normal. Everything from the gym membership and protein powder to therapy apps and meditation classes. And the scale of this is just staggering. Look at this chart. In the 70s, wellness was this tiny little niche market. Today, it's a global industry worth trillions of dollars. All of that growth represents new things we're being convinced to spend our money on, things that have been successfully packaged and sold to us as necessities. And believe it or not, the list just keeps going. Think about housing. Now you might have smart home subscriptions or HOA fees that just weren't a thing before. For your career, there's this constant pressure for skill upgrading, which means paying for online courses. The financial world is littered with tiny fees for everything. Even getting around has new costs, like ride-sharing or installing an EV charger at home. So this leads to the big question. Why? How did we get here? What were the big picture shifts in our world that created this new reality of paying for everything all the time? Let's break it down.
Well, it really boils down to four main forces that all kind of hit at once. First, the digital revolution gave us software as a service, which was the blueprint for the entire subscription model. Second, the societal shift to dual-income families created that massive demand for childcare. Third, businesses themselves made a very strategic pivot away from selling you something once to locking you in forever with a subscription. And finally, let's be honest, our own growing demand for nonstop convenience made all these on-demand services feel essential.
Okay, so we've seen the what's and the whys. Now let's talk about the so what. What is the cumulative effect of all this on our financial well-being? We call this the 1,000 payment problem. And this right here, this sums it up perfectly. It's a psychological trap. It's not one giant, obvious expense that's sinking your budget. It's the slow, silent erosion from dozens and dozens of these little payments that you barely even notice until you add them all up. This picture really says it all. You see your big chunks, right? Housing, food, transport, the usual suspects. But look closer, at the edge of the circle. It's being nibbled away by all these tiny little slivers. Subscriptions, random fees, tech upgrades. It's this fragmentation that makes managing money today so incredibly complex compared to the past. All right, so seeing the problem is one thing, and it can feel a little overwhelming. But here's the good news. Awareness is the first, most powerful step. So what can we actually do about it? How do we navigate this new world?
Let's walk through a simple 4-step game plan. First, do an audit. Seriously, go through your bank or credit card statements and highlight every single recurring payment. The total might shock you. Second, fight the upgrade. Make a conscious choice to keep your phone or laptop for an extra year or two. This alone can save a ton of money. Third, start thinking differently. Mentally split your budget into core costs and these modern add-ons to really see where the leaks are. And finally, use technology to fight back. Set up automatic savings and spending alerts to build some guardrails for yourself.
Look, we can't just wish ourselves back to 1975. This complex financial world is here to stay. But by understanding the forces that created it, and by seeing these hidden costs for what they are, we can become smarter, more deliberate consumers. We can take back control of our financial future, one small, conscious decision at a time.